This is the Gallery of Backyard Barbecue, and before we get started, please consider subscribing to my channel. Ring that bell so you get all my future uploads, of course. A comment is always suggested and welcomed, and of course, it is greatly appreciated. Okay, so before we get going here, let's talk about some seasoning. I go with an old school salt, pepper, garlic with a Worcestershire binder, some thyme, and some rosemary. Right? That's kind of like an old school seasoning, the way we did it in the 80s. Okay, you want your meat split at the bones, as you can see. You can Google that to learn how to do that. This was already done, so there was no point in me going over that with you. Alrighty, and listen, after you put the seasoning on, keep it out room temperature 3 to 4 hours and wrap it in some plastic wrap, right? And let that sit. After it sits, you've got a nice coating of seasoning, of rub. And you can even add a little bit more at this point if you'd like. I felt pretty comfortable with what I had, so I'm going to let that roll, of course. Alrighty, and now let's touch real briefly on tying the meat, right, with some butcher twine. I do a loop. I do a loop at one end, and I pull it tight, spin it around, right? Get a nice tight pull, and basically what I do is just a loop tie, right? There's all kinds of ways to tie it, and this is basically the easiest way. Just kind of loop it through. I don't know if you could make that out, right? And then you'll just loop it again underneath and get yourself and just get yourself tied right there. It's an easy knot to do. And if you notice on some of my videos, I do a lot on that butcher paper, right? Why? Because it is easy to clean up. 1, 2, 3, and we're all cleaned up, right? Of course. Of course. And now what I do here is I put a couple slices of butter, and then I brush it in horseradish, right? Horseradish and prime rib are just perfect together, in my opinion, right? And it also helps to form a nice crust, right? We're always looking for that nice crust. Oh, yeah, good stuff. Yeah. And not shown, I have a bouillon cube inside that pan, which will help in the jus, right? The dipping sauce, of course. And now listen, what I'm going to do is high 450 plus for 30 minutes, and then I'll lower it to 275 until the internal temp is 121 to 125. Remember, it will roll up a few degrees after you pull it, so that'll give you a perfect rare to medium rare, right? If you want it a little bit more, you roll it up into the 128, 129, 130 range. Now listen, that's 30 minutes in, and although it may look a little burnt, trust me, that is good stuff and beautiful. That is just what you want. And now I pulled this sucker at about a 123, and I know that is going to give me a perfect rare, right? What you want to do from here is just take it out and, of course, let it rest. And there you go. That is, oh man, beautiful. And now listen, on the au jus real quick, I get all that drippings. I put it in a pot on medium, and I kind of do like a roux, right? I'll hit it with some flour. I'll also hit it with some butter and then some water, of course. And this gives me like a quick au jus sauce for this prime rib, or there may be better ways to prepare the au jus, but this is just the way that I do it, of course. And now after about a 15 to a half hour rest, what we want to do is remove the bones, of course, and that allows you for easy slicing. And those bones, trust me, will not go to waste as they are packed with flavor. Packed with flavor. And now listen, I got so excited of this prime rib that I forgot to pull out my slicing knife. Oh well, no big deal. And I'd say that looks pretty medium rare to me, and pretty perfect. Pretty perfect. And of course, my wife will be getting that slice. Again, $4.50 plus for 30 minutes, lowered to 275 with an internal temperature of about 123, 124, and that is what you are looking at, and that is pretty perfect. What can I say? And that's my slice right there, of course. Oh yeah. All right, I am hosting a dinner party, so no taste test on camera. But listen, if you like this video, here's 2 videos you can check out right here. And of course, please consider subscribing to my channel, right? And until next time, we shall see you soon.